This booklet, the last. So we're going through the differences between Shabbos and Yom Tov. In this booklet, everyone has it. Okay. So I think there's one malacha. There's one malacha that they did not put in, and that was teichen, grinding. We didn't have that yesterday, correct? Grinding things into small particles. Okay, so on Shabbos, you're not permitted to grind anything into small particles. However, on Yom Tov, whatever is going to be used that day may be broken into small pieces. So therefore, when making the salad, you're not restricted in how small the pieces of the salad will be. Are you allowed to use a grater? So for those items that are made always in a small quantity, so you would be permitted to. However, you have to do it with a shinui. You should remember that it is Yom Tov. Shinui means doing it in a little different way, not the way you always do it during the week. And that would be either where you're going to put the contents of the grinding. You would put it in a bowl, put it in a plate. This time you're going to do it differently. You'll put it either on a paper towel, or you turn the grater upside down. No one does it normally that way. So this would be either where the contents are going to be kept, or turning it upside down. However, this is only for things that are usually made in a small amount. Now this year, we have the maror, the bitter herbs. So you could either use romaine lettuce, either you use the horseradish, which I'll bring in. It's probably for tomorrow. So the Alter Rebbe says not to use a grinder for the horseradish because usually they make it in a larger amount. So what we'd have to do is make the horseradish on Friday, keep it in an airtight container so it does not lose its potency. And then also on Friday, we try to make the items that are going to be used for the Seder so we could start the Seder right away. One of the things that we would have to remember on Friday, and I'm going to have a list soon coming up, I believe. What do we have on Friday that we either cook or roast or something of that sort that we have for the Seder night? What are some of the items that would be roasted? Zroa. Okay. We do not use meat, beef, because we want to keep it separate as much as possible from the Korban Pesach, which was a lamb, not to have this. So we use a part of a chicken. Which part of the chicken is used? The neck. And so it's either cooked and roasted or roasted to begin with. But again, it takes time. And the difference, if you did not, so we're suggesting that you roast it on Friday. If you did not roast it on Friday, then you could roast it on Saturday night after the time when you're allowed to prepare for the night when your Shabbos is over. This year on the calendar it says 8:15, so 8:15 Shabbos is over. Either you would daven and say the Havdalah in during the davening, or you say, what's the short form of Havdalah? Baruch Hamavdil ben Kodesh le Kodesh. Very good. We need that on the board. I think I have it on the paper that we'll be giving out. I think it's there. So Baruch Hamavdil ben Kodesh le Kodesh. Blessed he who separates between one holy day, Shabbos, another holy day, Yom Tov. And now that is the shortest form of Havdalah that you have now said to the Shabbos is over, the Yom Tov has come in, and then you are permitted to start preparing for the Seder. So what happens if someone did not roast the zroa on Friday? What are the rules on when you're doing it Saturday night? What are the rules on existing fire? Existing fire. And since you are roasting it on Yom Tov, it has to be done, it has to be for the first day of Yom Tov. Now, normally, if you want to use the zroa, the roasted neck, if you want to use it each night, you're not going to consume it, you're just putting it down. So you could use from the one for the first night, you could use it for the second night as well. Here, you're actually roasting it on Yom Tov. So what is the rule? Thank you very much. What is the rule? You have to use it on that day. So whatever is roasted on Saturday night you cannot eat it on the Seder night, because we want to make as much as possible a difference between the Karban Pesach, Passover sacrifice, and what we have on the Seder plate. So you will have to make a point of someone has to eat of it the next day. And then for the second Seder, you have to make a new one. Okay, so that's the difference if you make it on Friday. Friday, you could have it in storage. You use the first night, take it off the Seder plate, use it for the second night. But if you have not done so, the roasted Saturday night, someone has to volunteer to eat of it the next day. Then the next night, you're gonna have to roast these raw. What else is that takes some time? What else do we need on the Seder plate that will take some time? That is the egg again. You can cook it on. It will stay in the refrigerator. It will stay fresh. A hard-boiled egg will stay fresh in the refrigerator. Cook it on Friday. We'll have it for the Seder night, but make it a supply for both nights, because we do eat the egg on the Seder night. So make sure if you are cooking eggs on Friday, a supply for whoever's attending the Seder, and have it for both nights. If not, you cook it Saturday night.
Wait, about the chicken, so for the second Seder, you also have to eat it the next day?
Yes. Yes, good. Thank you for pointing that out. Since you on the second night, if you are doing this roa, then again, whatever you do on Yom Tov should be for Yom Tov. So you have to make a point of eating it the next day. What else do we have? We have the charoses. It'll take time to make it, to pound the. So again, we are permitted to break down the nuts. That's called grinding, right? So you are permitted to make the charoses on Saturday night. Again, with the making it more convenient. Again, the crushed nuts and apples will stay fresh if you put it in a container in the refrigerator. So to save time to be able to make the Seder right away after Shabbos is over, it suggests that you make the charoses on Friday as well. Okay, so that was our grinding. Now, the next on our food preparation, we were in the midst of a fire. Yes, so you are permitted to kindle a fire to heat the home, illumination. If it's dark, you can't put on the electric light, but you can take an existing light and take it from one room to the other. A yard side candle, there are different opinions. Should you light one on Yom Tov or not? Someone who does have this has a am I missing something here? Okay, missed out a page, which was the most important page. I think it was missed out. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. It's about washing up on Yom Tov. I think I'll have to bring in the other page. That's the one I felt was most relevant, because I don't know how many of you are actually cooking, or just know about the cooking. How many are actually going to be cooking on, okay, so really, but everyone is concerned about bathing, and that was the one that's most, okay. It is there, but it's only there, but it's not, it's not the full, it's not the, I don't know what was left out. So anyway, I don't know if they have this book. I don't think so. I doubt it. Possibly, okay, but anyway. So anyway, let's, I'll just give the outline which will follow what is here, and what has to be added, we'll try to put that in for tomorrow. Okay, so now, bathing itself is not to be done. So we basically have the rules of Shabbos when it comes to bathing. Now, the difference will be that you are, again, well, we have now our electrical ignitions. We are concerned of using hot water on Shabbos is the boiler where it has an automatic feed. As you're emptying out the hot water, automatically cold water comes in and you're cooking the cold water in the boiler. That is why you could not use hot water on Shabbos from our sink. Now, what about Yom Tov? Technically, so we said that to heat up, to cook up, you're allowed to, as long as it's for Yom Tov use, normal Yom Tov use, and therefore it would include our cooking and also heating up water for washing up. However, he said we're not allowed to put on a switch on Yom Tov. That we're not allowed to do. We can only take from existing fire, but we cannot open up a fire to begin with. Now, depending on what kind of boiler one has, sometimes the boiler goes off when you empty out the water, then a switch goes on. So that depends. So I don't know how the modern boilers work, if it closes off and then there's switches and everything else as with the ignitions. So I cannot give any opinion on if you could use the hot water from the faucet or not, depending on what kind of boiler you have. So technically, you could use hot water from if you have an urn, you could use that hot water. If you have a boiler that has a constant fire on it, some of them have a pilot fire that is constantly burning. Others have it's with an ignition, depending on what kind of model the boiler is. So you are allowed to use the hot water. You're not allowed to bathe your body completely. You could wash body parts. So when washing, let's look what we do have, page 208. When washing and bathing, you cannot use a bar of soap. That stays the same, right? Oh, thank you very much. So we cannot use a bar of soap. We could use liquid soap. Again, it should be kosher for Pesach. And do you know the list of what items?
Oh, soap also?
Oh, kosher for Pesach. Most of them are. It's a very, very large list there. You have the bars that are beauty bars that have oats in them. So that is covered. So I'm saying, but we have a list, and there is a book called Rabbi Blumenkrantz for Pesach. We have this book, Rabbi Blumenkrantz for Pesach. He's pretty thorough. He has a list of all types of different cosmetics. A lot of the cosmetics that people are accustomed to using all year round many of them are kosher for Pesach, so you really don't have to change your whatever you are accustomed to. You could find it in here and see if there's anything that is equivalent to and similar to. So you have on soaps, you have a very large selection, and Many of the soaps, so I'm not going to be looking for this, after class, we could look at this. So this is the book, it's a very useful book, we'll ask Mrs. Cohen to have it available, so everyone who wants to look things up could look it up. Yes,
But sorry, I just thought that, like, everything that goes on the body, like not near the mouth, that doesn't count.
you cannot have any benefit of chametz on Pesach.
Oh.
So unless it became so that if you would break down the ingredients and an animal could eat of it, could not eat of it, then, but it's only breaking down the ingredients. It's not in its form. A dog is not going to eat a bar of soap.
Yeah.
When you break down the ingredients, then it is possible to be edible. So,
You can't even look at it. No? You can't look at it.
but we put it away. You have to sell it, or if it's in your possession, you didn't sell it, then you have to get rid of it. So you have a lot of these. You have these lotions that are for that put oats inside for soothing irritation, things of that sort. You have that for oatmeal. Oatmeal is a lot of many of these lotions that are for soothing do have.
Goat milk?
Like goat milk soap.
Oh, no, that's goat milk is fine. I mean, I don't know, but what other, I don't know, it's oats. Oats, oats, one of the 5 grains, oats. So we'll look to see how big of a selection we have on soap. It has a glossary at the end, an index in the end, we can look to see what is there. So we do use permissible, free-flowing liquid soap. Dense soap should not be used unless it's been liquefied. So here we are with, as far as the washing is concerned, you use a diluted soap, the one that pours like very, not thick, but a thin soap. Another problem to bathing is the malacha of wringing the hair. Also, you're not allowed to use a sponge, washcloth when using a bathing with child, because you will be squeezing out the absorbed water, which is our sponges and cloths. So a child should be washed by hand. This malacha is also applicable when drying the child's hair after a bath or shower. It's forbidden to rub the hair with a towel, since it squeezes the hair out of water out of the hair. Best solution is to drape a towel over the child's head and absorb it with surface liquid. Now, so here he's only speaking about a baby. Doesn't say what to do about an adult. That's the other page. So, but anyway, so we are concerned about wringing the hair, and therefore I will look up to see if we do have the dry shampoo that could be used on Shabbos and Yom Tov.
Can this be used on Pesach?
I have to look up to see if it's in the book. I did not have a chance to this. I was thinking to myself, should I bring this into class or not? Because am I giving a hechsher and saying you could use this on Pesach? So I bringing it as a sample that there is something that is a solution, because people get very, very, I don't know what's the word, but uncomfortable when it comes to the hair. You can't wash the hair, you can't wring it. What are we doing? Yom Tov, the 3 days of Shabbos, Sunday, Monday. It's what are we going to do? So there is a solution. We're going to look up to see if this particular brand is or any other substitute.
This book has like a list of products?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Also in contract, everything marked.
tells you what to do. Also tells you all the halachas as well. It's a very, very it started off as a book like this and grew until we have it in this form. Tells you about chakras. It tells you about what wines what to drink and how to make a seder. It's a very this is reading for about a week's reading. So now we have brushing the hair while it's wet should not be done. A baby brush could be used. Okay.
Can you brush your hair on Yom Tov with a normal brush or
Not a normal brush. Again, whatever could be on Shabbos could be done on Yom Tov. That's as far as the hair is concerned. It's the same Shabbos rules. So we said again, not to pull the hair out. It can't be something that is a hair puller. No combs, no stiff brushes. So that would be fine. Baby wipes. Again, if with baby wipes, this is on the page 209. Baby wipes. So we brought in baby wipes that it says for Shabbos baby wipes. So the Shabbos baby wipes could be used on Yom Tov as well. And over here, when this book was written, baby wipes were very saturated. Those are towelettes that have some moisture to it, helps you clean. So if adults want to use it, it's not only baby wipes, it's whoever wants to use these wipes. So the time this book was written over here, it says no baby wipes because they were very saturated and it was like a sponge. But now we have the Shabbos baby wipes, which is the understanding is that it's not so saturated, and also that it does not absorb. It's only moisture on the surface, which when you're adhering it to a surface, it's not squeezing the material because there's nothing absorbed in the material. It just keeps it on the surface. That's my understanding. So no moist wash towels or paper towels. So tells you how to wash a baby, bring the baby to the sink, wash off the dirt by hand. The glove may be worn. You could use the rubber gloves. Baby oil, lotion, loose consistency could also be used. You could use then paper towels, tissues. You could, it does have now summary of laws pertaining to adults. We do have in the last page, we do have to adults. I missed this up. Okay, so we do have the page that's needed. Okay, page 210. Here we have it. Jar the body in warm water if Yom Tov, even if the water was heated on the day before. It's customary to refrain from bathing or showering with cold water on Yom Tov. In case of discomfort, a person is perspiring heavily, it's permitted to bathe or shower with cold water. But the hair, one should be careful about the hair with the wringing. It's permitted to wash the entire body with one limb at a time with cold water or water heated up before Yom Tov. However, it's forbidden to heat water, to use hot tap water for this purpose. Again, because of the issues that are involved. It's permitted to heat up water for the purpose of washing a minor part of the body. Washing any part of the body in a shower or bathtub is forbidden unless one is partially clothed, to remember that it is Yom Tov. Bathing infants and children, a baby is normally bathed every day or every other day, may be bathed in warm water on Yom Tov. It's forbidden to heat up water, to turn up hot water for this purpose. It's to be permitted to use the water heated from the day before, permitted to use a gentle, non-Jewish person to heat up the hot water, not to boil the water. If one opened the hot water for permissible purposes, you can let the water flow. This procedure is also followed for a child who is not bathed every day, but extremely dirty on Yom Tov. A child has a rash. You can have a non-Jewish person heat up the water for purpose of bathing him. If no non-Jewish is available, when we open the hot water in an unusual manner, specifically for the baby. Okay, so that's basically it. We spoke about the stoves, am I right? Electronically ignited gas stoves and ovens, so cannot be turned on Yom Tov. So what are the solutions? It's on page 226. Number one, the burner should be turned on before Yom Tov, so it's never used on Yom Tov, and it will be burning throughout Yom Tov, as we spoke yesterday. The cord providing electric current to the ignition should be unplugged before Yom Tov. One may then turn on the gas burner and ignite it from the existing flame. So if you pull out the plug, the computer will go off. If you pull out the plug on Friday, you have the electric ignition. Whether the gas stove or an electric stove, if you pull out the plug of an electric stove, it won't work.
Right.
So that's it's only the gas stove that also has a plug, because for the computer and ignition, we used electricity. So we spoke yesterday about when did the ignition go on. Some stoves, it goes on when you turn it all the way at the end, and that's when it goes on. That you open up and light the gas burner from an existing flame. The ignition that goes on immediately, as soon as you start turning the knob, starts to go on right away. That cannot be done on Yom Tov. But if you do pull out the plug, the ignition will not go on at all. Your clock will go off, and also the computer will also go off because you pulled out the plug. But the gas burner will still work. So as far as the stove is concerned, the stove top, that's still working. What's not working is the electric ignition. Therefore, you could light it from an existing flame because there is no electrical issue involved. I'm thinking to myself, what's with the stove? If you pull out the ignition, I guess there is also an ignition that puts on the stove that's electrical. If you pull out the plug, the ignition will not go on. Could you light the oven through an existing flame? I'm not familiar with that. You'd have to know where the actual burner is. You'd have to take the floor of the burner out, or maybe the boiler. I would not. I would not give you any advice on that. Okay. Gas ovens, electric gas valve and igniters. So they do have a Yom Tov oven. They sell them in the metropolitan area where there's a large there's a large demand for such ovens. So a person who's going to buy one, what does have a Yom Tov mode, which means you don't have to pull out any plugs. Everything goes on because it's done in a permissible way. So you do have that if someone is asking you for advice, or when you have your own home, you want to have a stove that is also going to be for Yom Tov, you could have that. And the companies make this. It's not only a Jewish company, but the big commercial companies like whatever comes to mind. But they do have that model as well. You have to ask for it. So the basic thing is, again, you could light from one side from the other. You cannot complete an electric circuit. Opening and closing the door. If completes the electric circuit, is forbidden to open and close the door, just like a refrigerator. Electric cooktops do not have a constant electric current flowing through them. Once the desired temperature is reached, electricity shuts down. Therefore, it's forbidden to adjust the thermostat, since by doing so, one may be completing a circuit that has gone off. Even cooktops with the power on or surface light features not truly indicate whether the current is flowing or not. Therefore, you cannot adjust it. And before Yom Tov, you could leave it on. Electric oven is the same story. Open the door, close the door. You're opening the door. The thermostat is now bringing up the heat. Same thing is also with the refrigerators. Opening the door. So there are two opinions about opening a refrigerator that does not have any electrical issues. Again, now there are refrigerators with computers that tell you when you've run out of milk. Will start flashing that you got a low supply of milk. It'll tell you over there there's a window, the door is see-through, and everything. It's really like tells you what you're missing, what you still should buy. You run out of this, run out of that, or you have too much of this. I don't know what it's the talking refrigerator, but so you can't talk to it on Shabbos. It'll answer you, and so again now. What is happening is, so we have no refrigerator, we don't have a light, but we do have a thermostat. When you open up the door, warm air is coming in, and therefore now the temperature is rising. So then the thermostat goes on, and now to adjust to cool down your refrigerator. Now, as soon as you open the door, does that take place immediately? Usually not. Sometimes yes. So since it's not something definite, you are permitted to open the refrigerator door. Others will wait until the motor is actually working. If it's working already, when you open the door, it's not going to stop working, but it's not going to start working either because it is running already. So there are those who will wait for the refrigerator to hear the hum of the motor, and then they will open the door. So did you go to different households? Are you familiar with this? That some people wait for the motor or not? No matters in which home you will go, for Shabbos, and they tell you, get something in the refrigerator, wait, do you hear the motor running? Then open it. Okay. So This is our basic, no, topic.
We can ask a question.
Yes,
We can squeeze lemon, but not squeeze our hair.
squeezing lemon into the salad,
Yeah, but.
not on your hair.
No, but I'm saying we can.
I'm saying, no, so
like,
why,
pour the
so
towel
why could we squeeze the lemon? Tell
to
me.
eat it.
And so is it, so what malach is involved when you're squeezing it, There's a malach of schita,
Yeah.
squeezing. We have two reasons why we squeeze. Either we want the liquid to come out and use the liquid, or we want the liquid out completely. Finished. Okay, now, so since we said we cannot squeeze orange juice on Yom Tov, why could we squeeze the lemon into the salad?
As flavor.
So give me more information. Now, technically, the only liquid that's considered a halachic liquid is the liquid that comes from a grape, the liquid that comes from an olive. That is the halachic liquid. That's a Torah liquid. Doing that on Shabbos is a halacha. Now, squeezing juice is not a malacha on Shabbos. It's a rabbinic safeguard. So what is when we squeeze an orange or we squeeze a lemon, what are we doing? You're changing, it's the same fruit, it's another form of the fruit, which does not get its own brach of bori pri ha'etz. It is now just squeezed out, it's another form of the orange, of the lemon. It's not a halachic liquid. It's a fruit juice. So therefore, when we're squeezing the lemon into the salad, we're using it as a food. From the lemon into the salad is a food, the lemon juice is a food. The fish is being flavored, we're taking the lemon and putting it into the fish. Now, the lemon is a part of the fish. But squeezing the hair goes into another category. Okay, I guess we will not have time to, the next topic is to kosher your doing koshering. How much of that is actually it's going to be used? How to kosher your kitchen? How who's going to be kosher? First of all, I would tell you that in order to do so, you would have to have someone who knows what they're doing. We don't want anyone to burn themselves, hurt themselves, or things of that sort. To know which materials could be kosher or not. Some things are very simple. You just put on the burner, take the grapes, turn them over, and you've koshered your grapes. That's the simple thing. Anyone could do that. Again, with tongs, put on gloves, don't get yourself burnt. But the general things, is anyone going to heat up a pot and try to kosher the pot or take the cutlery and put it inside? Right now, at one time, you had all usable, reusable items. There was no throwaways. Right now, if someone is in a situation where you have to worry about koshering, you have the throwaways. So you're not concerned so much about the cutlery and about the plates. And with the pots, you get yourself a pot, you get yourself a little burner, and you're set. You don't have to kosher your oven. You have your Pesach thing, a little Pesach thing, and a Pesach pot. That would be what normally would be suggested. Then we have actually going to be koshering your utensils. Is it something that is practical for this class? Do we spend extra time for this or not? Who actually is going to be koshering their home? You will.
I mean, it's useful.
It's just, I know, but right now, it matters on what order we're going to be teaching.
Oh,
We
okay.
bring that up first, or we bring that at the end?
Well, we're not doing it.
What are the other
What?
options?
We're not doing it this.
Okay, so what about you?
I can get somewhere else.
You could have your Chabad rabbi,
Yeah, I can ask him, I can ask him in private.
okay. Okay, so now it's 10 o'clock. So tomorrow I will go more to the Seder. I do have information, booklets on koshering and background to it. I do have handouts for this, so we will try to incorporate, but not as what we're going to so okay. So I do have a checklist. Let's give that out. No. I can make available now. There's a checklist of those who want to go through. Someone asked me in class for the checklist